What's up, Tank Nation? I'm finished. I'm done editing. It's chapter 3 time. Tour of Khundan. It's race day. I think you're gonna dig this. Okay, just a warning. It's long. I cut a ton of stuff out of here. I had so much content, but I love you guys, and I decided that 56 minutes was enough. That's the final cut. I'm sorry. I know long videos are not super popular anymore on YouTube, but there are so many great people that I met there. I wanted to make sure that they got their time in the sun, so to speak. There are also great guys that I rode with. There wasn't a lot of coverage, so a lot of the race footage I left in there because it features so much of them. And to be honest, you know, I went to this race with the idea in mind that I wanted to have fun. I wanted to enjoy it. It was my first international competition ever on a bicycle, and you know, I wasn't there for a podium. I was there to meet people, make friends, have an amazing ride in Thailand, and have a story to tell. So that's what I did, and it was awesome and super fun, and I highly recommend it. You can go to Tour of Khundan Facebook page. Make sure you hit that translate button, unless you read Thai. I don't, so I needed to do that every single time. And hopefully you can attend. I'm definitely going back next year for this event. I'm really excited. I'm actually going to be in Thailand in March for the Shimano Blue Race, which I'm also equally excited about, and got invited to come out and do that. Coach is going to be with me, and we're going to have some fun. So anyway, let's get into this video. I'm going to do some narration, just to kind of let you know what was going through my mind along some of this, and enjoy. If you like what you're seeing, you know what to do with the buttons. By all means, leave me some comments. Let me know your thoughts. If you have questions, I always try to answer every single comment that comes in on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, whatever. And that way, you know, we can have that interaction and everything else. So if you have a question or you want to know more about something, please let me know. I'm happy to share all that stuff with you. But for now, let's get into the video. All right, see you guys.
Prakan Chon จังหวัดนครนายกโดยกรมชลประทานผู้ท่องเที่ยวนะครับจากมาหน้าเวทีด้วยขณะนี้เวลา 6:07 นาทีสมาคมกีฬาแห่งจังหวัดนครนายกนะครับโดยท่านประวัติสายรัตน์นายกสมาคมกีฬาแห่งจังหวัดนครคนขอนแก่นครับภูกระเหรี่ยงครับตัวเขาพระอำเภอเมืองจังหวัดนครนายกดอกแสงครับโทษดีครับนะครับกีฬาจังหวัดนครนายกนะครับกรรมการนะครับของทางด้านชมรม
Here we go. Finally here.
นอกนี้ก็ยังได้รับการไปด้วยความราบรื่นนะคะ
That you can go anywhere and find all your Filipino friends, even to Khundan for the tour. So, okay, awesome. Good luck today. Good luck, guys.
ขออนุญาตท่านประธานก่อนได้เจอครับเดี๋ยวผมขออนุญาตจับเวทีนิดนึงนะครับขอเชิญพี่สมจิตนะประธานโค้ชทองด้วยนะครับขอให้ด้านหน้านะครับขอบคุณด้วยนะครับนะเดี๋ยวขออนุญาตขยับโพเดียมไปด้านขวานิดนึงนะครับขออนุญาตท่านประธานชมรมนะครับยืนคู่
How many are you?
ครับเดี๋ยวขออนุญาตนะครับขออนุญาตปรับเวทีสัก3
The government support for this event was immense, and you can just see here from who was on the stage. They took it very seriously, and they were there the whole way. So you can see here, I mean, the police, the military were there. I mean, we had volunteers everywhere. It was absolutely fantastic. Could not have asked for more. All right, well, this is what we came for. It's just about go time. So they were sending us off in waves, and this is the 50 plus wave. I was actually surprised. Quite a few foreigners are there, and they definitely made this ride much more interesting. But yeah, we had a blast, and it was just great to see. This was a huge field, right? There were 79 of us in the 50 plus category, and there was a 60 plus category behind us. So cycling is alive and well, for sure, in Thailand, no question about it. And these guys were ready to get after it.
สองแผงกับพุทธะ
So here we go. Yeah, right out of the bat, I mean, these guys just take off, right? So I'm going, okay, well, I might be out of my depth here, and you know, I kind of just sat at the back and gathered myself and thought, okay, this is happening. So here we go, under this great archway honoring the king, and we've now left the race start area, of course, and we're gonna shoot down here and make a right-hand turn and get to the meat and potatoes of this race course. Okay, so originally when I was talking to Coach about this, I told myself, look, you're going out there by yourself. You don't have a team to ride with or anything like that, so you're just a one-man show. And with that in mind, I told myself I'm probably just going to hang out at the back. You know, there's no reason for me to be up front doing heavy pulls and things like that. I should just chill out and relax. And then, you know, just let the race unfold, right? 72 kilometers in front of us here. And so that's kind of what I started out thinking I was going to do, and that quickly changed as the pace increased and everything else. And so you're going to see here in a few minutes that my plan A got tossed out the window, and we went with plan B, and that was ride as fast as you could. Okay, so you can see here we're not 4 kilometers away from the start of the race, and I'm already slotted in number 3. Now, I'll be honest with you, I didn't have that in my head that, you know, okay, you got to be at the front of this race group. Obviously, my mindset was completely different. But as it turns out, the pace that we started rolling at was fairly comfortable. It was what I was used to doing here when we're doing our workouts and our other events and things like that. So this wasn't a big push or a stretch rather to get in the groove and do this. And so I just got on the back wheel of some of these guys and said, okay, let's see where this takes us. And you know, made some adjustments along the way, of course. But you know, by and large, I felt pretty good about where we were at. Watching this video back when I was editing was just awesome, because getting to see all of these guys, I mean, you know, you got to understand, I spent a lot of time up front. I didn't ride in the pack very much at all. And so it was really cool just to see how many different riders there were, you know, all the guys working and everything else. And that part was really, really cool. Like I said, 79 competitors in the 50 plus group. So this is solid. Okay. So we're out now. And we're 7K in, 38 average. It's really good to ride with guys. But definitely fun. Huge group in the 50 plus, 70, almost 80 riders. So it's exciting. Yeah, here we go. So look, one of the cool things about this particular group, right? So like I said, it was a very large group. You can see though that the government has shut down the entire road. So we're hauling now, right? We're doing pretty good, 51, 52 kilometers an hour. But the government basically shut down the entire road in big places to give us all the room we needed to go do what we're going to do. So you can't ask for more than that, right? And so that was just really, really amazing. However, out on the course itself, they didn't have a lot of people helping to do coverage. So I was really, really fortunate to be able to have a videographer that I found locally to come along for the ride, and we got a motorcycle from the people at the hotel and our driver to bring the videographer along. So hats off, great shots. Couldn't have done it without them, and just really blessed because, like I said, there just wasn't a lot from the promoters, the event coordinators themselves, but that's not to say they didn't have a lot going on. So I understand they had multiple distances in this race. We were in of course, the 72 kilometer, and there was a mountain bike, there was an executive distance, there was a women's group, and then all of the age brackets plus an elite group. So they had a lot going on, which is obviously understandable. So again, really fortunate to have the videographer and the motorcycle driver, and that's how we got all these great shots. Okay, so we have turned off the main kind of busy highway section, if you will, and we are now in what I like to call the back roads of the race. And this is actually very pretty. It's an extremely scenic area, and when I did the route recon the day before, I was just blown away. It was just pretty. I mean, I could have been anywhere in the Philippines, Malaysia, Vietnam, you name it. But of course, we're here in Thailand, and it was just great. It was very comfortable. A lot of this part of the course was shaded, which made it nice. And yeah, just beautiful sights. Although I will be honest with you, during the race, I didn't see as many of them as I did the day before during the route recon. But nonetheless, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. This is Cesar Rodriguez, and brother from another mother. Just an awesome guy, and had a great time riding with him, as well as our time at Skylane, and just the true spirit of the Pinoys, and just welcome me like we'd known each other our whole lives. So thanks a lot, Cesar, for making my ride special. Okay, spoiler alert, these two guys coming into the picture here, that's your race winner and second place. They were way ahead of us, and that is basically the last time we saw them in the race, was right here on this first climb. So that was definitely by plan, and off they went, and the rest of us were all racing for third place after that. So I think by now you've probably heard me say this, or Coach say this in some of the other videos. We typically don't attack on the climbs, especially when it's this early on in the race. There's just no need to do that. There's plenty of time to get on the downhill, regroup, and get yourself squared away. If you are always attacking on climbs, there's a good chance you're going to wear yourself out before you get into the meat and potatoes of the race, and you're going to want to reserve some of that energy. In fact, this race ends with an almost 2-kilometer climb to the finish line. So here we are rolling through what was a water station / feed station, and everybody kind of bunched up again just to get some water. Some guys had some nutrition things. I have a little cocktail of energy mix that I make myself at home that I brought along with me, and yeah, so off we go. Okay, so just over halfway now. We're in the backside of the course. It's hilly. It's shady, which is super nice. But really strong group. There's a Danish rider that has already gone off on the front. He's really strong. You can't even see him. So just got to hang in there now and see what happens on the second half of the race. Should be fun. Okay, so one of the things you're going to notice here is there are 3 foreigner riders in the front, including myself, and then a few Thai guys. And you know, that's kind of how it was the majority of the time. There were 2 or 3 different Thai riders that would, you know, roll up to the front, roll back, roll up to the front, roll back, and then the rest of us just took turns at the front to keep the pace on. And then this guy came up and did a big pull. This is actually an uphill section here, so he was rolling up this pretty good, and you know, I was just doing the smart thing, tucking in behind him and hanging on. And then as the pitch got a little bit steeper, you know, he started to slow down a little bit. The guy coming up on my right hand side his name is actually Ronan, so I met him after the race, but he and I spent a lot of times trading pulls at the front and pacing and everything else. So I was just as happy to ride with him and continue up this hill and get it done as quick as we could. when the hands go over the handlebars, you know I'm up front. So again, I didn't plan on being up front like this, but it just felt really good. I mean, I had prepared, myself for this event, and so I felt good, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna ride at the pace that I know that I'm comfortable at, because that's gonna make me feel like the most at home. So when you see my hands like this, I'm just getting in as aero position as I can, having just my aero handlebars, and yeah, so it felt good. So why not be there? This was pretty interesting. This was a quick left-hand turn before we started on the road that would eventually take us to the second uphill. If you had gone straight there, you were on the mountain bike course. So I never saw where that went, of course, because we were on the road bike side, and up the hill we go. So at this point in my mind, I'm thinking, I got to stay with these guys. If I don't stay with these guys, they're just going to cut everyone loose and pull away from the entire peloton. So Ronan is now in front. I'm behind him, and again, here comes another Thai rider who decides to put on the hurt a little bit. There's still a lot of racing left, so no reason to panic at all at this point. This is a little bit of a climb. And so again, you just got to apply some of the pressure, grit your teeth a little bit and stay in it. So Ronan keeps the pace pretty high here, and I just tucked in behind him and let him drag me up this hill, just really focused on maintaining a consistent effort. I think one of the things that I've learned now in doing all of the different events I did in 2022 is consistency really does pay off. Whether you're swimming, whether you're running, whether you're cycling, the more consistent you can be, I think the stronger you end up performing overall. And I know that sounds like something that's really simple, but you would be surprised. A lot of people, they'll put in this really, really big effort thinking that, that's going to just create some separation. And a lot of times it just ends up frustrating them because it doesn't create separation. And now you've burned up all of this energy. This race is happening very fast. We ended up finishing in under 2.5 hours, 72 kilometers. So we were hauling. And so all the more reason to make sure that you're using energy where you need to. Because that's ultimately what's important. So you're going to see here, I get swarmed again by a bunch of the riders in our group. Again, I'm not going to kill myself going up this climb. There's another climb coming after this, and then the final climb going to the finish line. So I know that I can downhill with the best of them, and that's kind of how I thought about it at this point was, well, I'll let these guys go ahead and I'll just catch them on the easy side of the road for me, which is going downhill as fast as I possibly can anyway. Yeah, so here we are on the third climb of the day out on the course. This actually ends up being the last climb on the course that's away from the dam, and then of course there is the final climb. So again, I'm not going to kill myself to get up this hill. I know we've still got a pretty long ways to go, and I know that the speed is only going to pick up the closer we get. So right now it's just about keeping pace, keeping the tempo up, and really focusing on not blowing up certainly way far out from the finish line. So I wanted to keep the energy levels again consistent. I think that really pays off, and this wasn't a very long climb, so I knew once we got over the hill again, I just put my head down and push on those pedals, and before you know it, I'm right back in the pack again. So it actually allows me to sort of keep my head straight, allows me to recover. I remember the first time coach told me when we were going to go into Sierra Madre after my biomechanic tuning, he said, I want you to think about recovering when you're climbing. And I just thought, that is crazy. Recover while you're climbing. Now, if you're having to finish a race on top of a hill, and yeah, you gotta keep up the pace and everything, that's different, of course. But if you're in the middle of a race where we still have 30 kilometers to go, and there's no reason for you to sprint up that hill because you know what's coming on the other side, like I did. I knew this was going to be a nice long downhill, and I could just gradually work my way right back into the front of the group again without any real stress. And I think that's the kind of stuff that I've picked up along with everything else from coach, is that I don't have to stress myself out to get back into the group where I need to be. I need to be patient, I need to be consistent, and I need to do what I know is the right thing to do to manage my energy. So anyway, that's kind of what's going through my head at this point. I'm slowly rolling back onto everyone, and ultimately it works out just fine. So I was really happy with how I handled the 3 climbs. Sure, I could have gone over faster, but with 72 kilometers to race that day, it was just really important to make sure that I managed my energy output through the entire race. I love this. You guys saw this in chapter 2. This is this great little temple right out here, and it's just picturesque. I mean, I wish I could have showed you guys the rest of the area, but it's just situated in such a beautiful spot. So anyway, back to the race. Okay, so as you can see, I've caught back up to the main body. Everyone that I was with initially is just within 5 or 6 riders, and I'm able to recover sitting behind a few of them, and just let the work happen. So we are now headed back towards the dam. This is a huge reservoir that I had missed on the route recon the day before, and the reason is they only opened the road to us for the race. So this was really special. I mean, this was one of those places where you can see everyone's heads turning, because everyone's seeing this for the first time, unless they lived there and had visited the area, of course. So here we are on top of this earth dam, and riding. We're the only ones up there, and the lake and a reservoir to the left it's like a postcard. I can't even explain it. I mean, the water was like a mirror. It was just glass. You can kind of see it there. I'm sorry the camera doesn't do it justice. There's a better shot, but it was just flat gorgeous. So anyway, again, another treat along this ride to just be pumping along. We made this really sharp left turn, went up like a 14-degree hill that was about 75 meters long, and then popped out on top of this dam, and it was fantastic. So very, very cool. We're dodging carabao poop, which was all over the top of this road, probably because they can do whatever they want when there's no bikers around. So got to pay attention and navigate that, and then here you go. Before you know it, we're right back at the front again. Okay, so we make this big right turn off the dam, and then we come down here to a hard left. And I didn't know this at the time, but behind us here is where one of the guys in our group actually had an accident. It was a little bit slippery going down that road from the dam, and I think he just slid out. He ended up being okay, but there was a crash there, and I think maybe 1 or 2 other riders went down with him. Everybody, I guess, was all right at the end of the day, but that was pretty tight. And of course, none of us had ridden this section of the road, right? So coming up to that turn, it was just like, oh wow, okay, this is more than 90 degrees back the other way, and we were just on this massive downhill. So anyway, back on this main road now. That's pretty much it for the really, really pretty stuff on this particular ride. And so now everybody just starts, kind of hammering. And this is where we were back up into the 40s on our pace, and it was just about getting it done. I think at this point everybody knew that we were obviously just racing for third place. The 2 guys that had gone off in first and second were gone, and so now it was just up to us to make this as fun as it could be while we were still out on the course. So we have now made the turn back. We're on the main road that we were on earlier in the day, and when the race started. And so now we're headed back. This is the final roughly 20K push, if you will. The gradient here ranges between 1 and 2%, and then there is a small bump along the way that'll peak out at about 4%. But I was content just to, maintain the pace. We were sitting at around 42, 43, 44, kind of in that range. Every once in a while we'd have a flyer go off the front, but they were never too far out. And so again, just be consistent. At the end of the day, that's probably the best way to manage this effort. Even if you watch tour professionals, they've got a plan. If there's a guy that's being allowed to be part of a breakaway, that's all for a reason. But if you're riding by yourself in one of these types of, classic day races, and everything else, and there's no one else there with you, a buddy to help support you, the best thing you can do is find a rider that's moving at your pace that you can maintain, and do some work together. It was great. There were a bunch of times in the ride where I did the chicken wing, gave the signal to pass so that I could rest for a second, and everyone was happy to jump right in. I was laughing though. You're gonna see this a little bit later on in the video. At one point I thought my chicken wing was broken because I was waving it and nobody wanted to pass me again. But we were inside 10 kilometers, so I understand everyone was kind of starting to get their head on straight about what to expect in the finishing effort. But it was pretty funny that I kept moving my arm and nobody would go by me. So one of the things you guys can see here, just take note, when you look at the group, it's almost like there's 3 rows, 4 rows, and so this part is kind of hard when it's a little bit unorganized like that, because ideally, single baseline, double baseline, or something to that effect is obviously preferred. Here comes Ronan. I'm telling you, I didn't get to spend a lot of time with this guy, but he is a character and just a really, really nice guy. Yeah. So, but yeah, this is one of the reasons we practice, a lot riding that single baseline, double baseline, the discipline that comes with that. It ultimately makes you more efficient, makes you very predictable. It allows you to move faster as a group. You can see right there in that shot, some of the guys that are moving off, they're just putting themselves in the wind for no good reason. So at this point in the race, I'm trying to conserve as much energy as possible. I don't want to be in the wind unless I have to. Okay, inside 10K now. It's been a pretty fast race. It's all going to come down to the final climb. It's up on top of the dam. So let's try to conserve right now. Relax a little bit. Stay covered. And see if I can get my legs back for the final climb. So here we go. This is about 4 kilometers out. Of course, I found my way back to the front again, even though that's not exactly where I wanted to be, but everyone just kind of kept slowing down. And I knew, for me personally, I didn't want to slow down. So we're making the turn. We're going to come back across the bridge that we went out, and then there's going to basically be a hard left in the left side of a roundabout that you're going to see us shoot through here in a second. And then from right there, boom, you're going up the hill. It starts off immediately at about a 5% grade. Here we go. We're making that hard turn, and you're going to see us shoot through that entrance, and then boom, it's on up the hill. It goes from 5 to 7 to 9 in less than 150 meters. And so, you were carrying a lot of momentum off the flat for sure, but you're huffing and puffing at this point now, and it ends up kind of just being it felt like a bunch sprint, if you will, just to make it around this corner on this first steep part of the climb. Now, I'm not going to lie. At this point, I've done a lot of work up front. We were going really fast. It's getting warm. My legs are hammered. I'm tired. I started getting that twinge thing that you get in your calves when you're working too hard, and so again, I found a pace that I could maintain, and that's kind of what I had left in the tank at that point. Labor of love. Yeah. Well, here we are. Yeah. Almost to the top. Yeah. Fun time. Yeah. Woo. Good boy. Oh, good stuff. I had a feeling those little guys were going to wait to the end. Yeah. I was right. Yeah. Okay, so here we are. End of the stage. Woo. I got cramps the last 20. Oh. All right, here we go. Very good. Oh, thank you. Ah. Okay, so tour of Khundan done. That was tough. That 2.5 kilometer uphill to finish, super hard. I'm so happy. I don't know where I came in. I think top 15, top 20, but doesn't matter. How's the ride? Oh, super, man! I tell you what, I'm glad I did the course read yesterday. I say without that, it would have been, I wouldn't have known where to pick it up and where to relax. Yeah. And then there's a twist of fate. When I got lost yesterday, I missed the whole reservoir area and all of these other sections. Oh yeah, so, because that was it was closed yesterday. So there you go. That's why I got lost. It wasn't open. Not my fault. So good stuff though. Loved it. Tour of Khundan 2022. Woo! Tank approved.
Did a bit and no one else. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff though.
Yeah, yes, right.
I like the hilltop finish though. That really kind of evens it out for everyone,
I
right?
think so as well. And it makes it safer as well.
Yeah, yeah. No dead sprints into a finish line. Thank you. Woo! Here we go. Oh,
เดินไปก่อนน้าสลิปใช่ไหมฮะ
รับเพิ่มได้นะคะ
สนุกไหมสนุกต้นสะพานทะเลประมาณ30
Okay, we came, we saw, we tour of Khundan.
นอนได้ไหมโอ้โหขนาดขึ้นมาถึงแซง40หน้าได้10เนี่ย11โอ้ข้างหลังนี่ยิงขึ้นมาพรวดเลยแรงนี่ก็ปิดแล้วหมดแรงงานเต้นห่าง
Carabao Cup for the Carabao.
Well done, Steve.
Awesome.
Well done. Yeah. Very awesome.
Yeah, that was a great ride. Super
Yeah.
fun.
Good scenery as well. Nice to finish on that.
Here we are. It's finished. Bib 273, 72 kilometers. Average is 37.3 kilometers per hour and 19 out of 79 contestants. So I was really happy with top 20. There were some really, really fast guys in this group. So that's all I can ask for. It wasn't about a podium or anything crazy. It was about having fun and meeting new people. And of course, the Pinoy connection is real. We'll be seeing you guys coming up. Coming up this week in Skyline. Okay, so that's it. It's a hilltop finish, so the fun part is you got to go back down the hill. We're gonna head back down now to the dam area and everything, and I'm gonna relax. Tough day, fun day, but I'm ready to get off my bike. So, good stuff. Okay, so this is definitely one of the best parts about this entire event. This hilltop finish, but this particular road is what I'm referring to. It is absolutely pristine. It's beautiful. I'm not sure how old the road is, but I mean, all of the roads we rode on were gorgeous. They were amazing. No debris, relatively smooth. Definitely awesome downhill here. And I was just able to cut it loose, even though there were still riders finishing from some of the other brackets. I just really wanted to enjoy it. I had not had a chance to film the downhill on the previous rides, and so this was just a nice finish to an otherwise great day, to be able to just rip it down the hill again and send it and have some fun. that's it. Tour Khundan. Put it on your schedule. You have a blast. Thailand is amazing. Hopefully I get to see you out there and we can strike a pose together. I'm gonna head back to the hotel and cool off. There's no danger of being called up to the podium. I have absolutely loved this opportunity, so no complaints whatsoever. Super fun. Time to eat. I'm hungry. Super happy. This was way more than I probably even let myself think it was going to be, which is super cool. You know, these first time ever being able to be in an international race, super cool. First time doing a race of this distance, and then to be in a really competitive group, right, with 79 other racers, and I'm telling you, it was super impressive. These guys are for real. They brought it the whole time. We had a bunch of foreigners. There's actually, I found out that the guy who won is a guy from Belgium. He is the world cyclocross champion from 10 years ago. So I'll have to go look it up or whatever. But yeah, so when you get bested by a former world champion, yeah, you're not too upset. So it's all good. But you know, breaking the top 20, getting that 19th position, you know, super cool. Definitely more than I expected. So yeah, I just feel like it's a big blessing, and it's been a great experience. And the best part is, I think, still to come. So there's a place called Skyline that's in Bangkok, and it basically is a bicycle area that goes around the airport. So you go and it's all bicycle lanes and everything else, and apparently this is a very popular place to ride. So Thursday I'll be out there meeting with a bunch of Filipino cyclists that are all based here in Thailand. So I'm really excited about that, and I think there's going to be some speed sessions or whatever, but we'll see. But you know, this reminds me a lot of what we did in Singapore, and it just never ceases to amaze me. Right here I am in Nayok, Thailand, and there's a bunch of Filipinos in the race with me, and it just made me feel like right at home, which was just a best thing that could have happened today. So I loved it. I had a blast. Meeting them was just like meeting family. So very cool. And yeah, so I'm gonna cool off in the water, and then I'm probably gonna go take a nap. So all right, see you.